Hi all you YouTubers. This is Kim and Pat, and we are here to show you how to use a NewGait at home to just improve your functional mobility, to improve your balance, and make it so you can get out there and enjoy your world much more effectively. So, before we even put the device on today, we're going to start with some stretches we want you to do at a stairwell. And the first one is a lunge stretch, so Pat's going to just go ahead and put his foot up on the second step. And he's going to put his foot down and he's going to lean forward, and as he leans forward he's going to take this arm and bring it up and over his head so you get a little stretch. Hold that for 10 seconds and then come on back. And he's going to do that 3 times on this side. Good, and stretch it over, up and over. Nice. So even before you put the device on, we want you to do a little stretch and get your body ready for what you're doing. Perfect. Good, then we're going to go right from that lunge stretch. He's going to keep that foot right on there. And now he's just going to hang on with both hands, and he's going to lean forward and get a good stretch on his hamstring. And he's stretching across his back and his hamstring. Just kind of, again, right before you put that device on, tell your body, hey, something new is going to happen today. And one more of those, Pat. Perfect. Okay, now we want you to turn around, and we want you to do that on your other leg. We've already done that one. So we're going to do a couple lunges here. Good, you want to use your other arm. It's the opposite one. There you go. Up and forward, give it a stretch. So as we're doing this, I want to tell you a little bit of Pat's story. Him and I met about 6 months ago, and he had just had some surgery, and he was really struggling. Came in here using his walker, and he was falling all the time at home, and couldn't get out and enjoy his world much at all. And since then, using the NewGait and hanging out here in the clinic, he's a changed guy. Okay, so now he's into the hamstring stretch. So remember to go back to that second one, where you put your foot back up in here and lean forward. Get that hamstring stretch in. Good, and then finally we're going to have you put both feet, so go ahead and step off there, both feet on the bottom step. And you're just going to let that heel cord down, so you're going to let your heels down and try to stand nice and tall. Good. So you're stretching out that heel cord, and then come up on your tiptoe. And bring it back down. And again, come up one more time. So that's that push off that we're going to use with the NewGait. And then let it stretch out. Okay, so those are the 3 stretches we want you to do before you put your device on. By helping Pat don the NewGait device, you're going to start with the waist belt. And you want that kind of sitting right above his hip. Good, just sit it there, make sure it's kind of centered. And then you just slide it around, and I'm just going to fasten it behind him. But I want these anchors then to get slid all the way around the belt, so that we'll have the 4 anchors to use later on. So you should be able to kind of figure out how to put that on. Now I want you to turn back toward Tiffany. The next we're going to put on I'm just going to start with the leg strap. You want the one with the white, and they actually have a video for this already. It's going to be on the right side. Good. And then when we turn around, we'll put the left one on. Good, and then we're going to put on the shoulder harness. I'm going to clasp those 2 in for me. And then I want you to turn around a little bit this way so they can see that they want to slide this down. Perfect. Okay. Then we're going to hook these two in before we hook the shoulder harness on. Okay, so now I'm going to hand you that shoulder harness. So take a nice deep breath in, kind of blow it out. Okay, now I'm going to hand these around to you. Good, and you try to hook them over the top of each other. Good, perfect, okay. How's that feel?
Great.
Good. Well, let me see. Turn around my direction. Oh, you look splendid. Take this and kind of take it a little bit this direction. Okay, so now we're going to hook on the rest of these bands. And so we're going to start here. And each person will have their own configuration of how the device goes on. We're just going to give you kind of a generic one. Here, really feel like you're pulling your toes up to that cat. Okay. All right, now I'm going to turn around for me. I'm going to give you one more set. Is that not bugging you back, is it?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, device is on. Ready? Yep. Is that red too much in the front, or does that feel okay? Good. Do you miss those things? That dorsiflexion assist, you're like, oh, it's too much off. And one more time. Perfect, okay. So I want you to just bend your knees a little first. Okay, and then put the weight on the front foot. Good, and then come back and shift that weight. And there you go, lift that toe and try to get yourself tall here. Perfect, and switch, then come forward. And come backward. Good, and then come forward. Shifting that weight onto that foot, trying to use your hand as little as you can on the stairwell. And then come back. And one more shift forward. And back. Perfect. Okay, now you want to switch feet. Okay, so we got your straddle stance going. Okay, you come forward. And then switch, and come back. Really lifting that front toe, letting that band help you do this. Switch that weight. So you're working on a nice weight shift, and trying to get dorsiflexion. And then shift again. And come back up. And one more time, shift forward, and come back up. Good. Perfect. All right, now we're going to turn back toward the front of the stairwell. Good. In front of you again in case you need it. So in this particular exercise, we're really working on doing like a hip hinge, trying to get your butt muscles to come back and kind of bend at the hip. You're going to come forward, and then coming back up from that exercise, you're trying to get into full extension. And so the bands are kind of working against you in one part of it, and they're helping you get to neutral in the next part. So here goes Pat. He's going to kind of come forward, try to get his bum tucked out, good. And then come back up, tuck, and get tall. Here, perfect. Okay, and forward, bend at that hip. Get that bum out back toward behind you. Good. And then come back up nice and tall. You okay there?
Yep.
Okay, and forward. Step bum on at me, nice. Come back up tall. And last one, here we go, forward. Good, back up tall. Woo. Perfect. Okay, and you can keep your hands kind of crossed here in front of you. Okay, and you're thinking about that upright posture, just trying to be really tall across your core. And in this position first, I want you standing there and doing that church pew where you're just leaning forward a little bit, try to bend a little bit of bend in your knee, and then a little back. Good, so then you stand up tall again, and when you come back, you're just putting the weight on your heels. Good, and then on your toes, kind of getting tall, and back on your heels. And on your toes, and then on your heels, and then come to center. Okay, now staying right here in this position, I want you just to rotate away from me. Turn, good, and then turn back the other direction. So at this point, the NewGait is just giving you some stability and helping you find where neutral is. So you're turning to the right again, and then to the left. Is that bothering you back at all?
No.
Good. Good, and one more time to the right. And to the left. Good. Then you go right back to the center and making sure that you have that in front of you if you need it, but I don't want you to use it unless you need it. Now I want you to just try to, with a soft bend you need, I want you to just try to close your eyes and just stand there. Good, so you're not trying to go anywhere. Just try to close your eyes and just hold yourself upright. Take some deep breaths in this position. Perfect. Okay, now open your eyes up. Now you're going to put your feet together. So now your feet are right together. Good. Both of them. Okay, so now first, I want you to try that church pew again in this position where you just got a little bit of a lean forward and then backward. Good. So this is all supposed to come from your ankles and not from your hips. So when you lean forward, just lean forward at the ankle a little and then back. Just right with the weight on your heels. There you go. And then your toes. That's better. Good, and then on your heels. And one more time on your toes. And on your heels. Good, and then come back to center. Now I want you to rotate away from me. Good, and the other direction. That's going okay.
Yes.
Is it? Well, that's not good.
No,
Okay.
not new.
And then turn away from me. And the other direction. Good, and then stop in the center. And close your eyes and try to stand there. Ooh, that's tougher, isn't it? And you got your feet right next to each other.
A little bit.
Good, and go ahead and open your eyes. Okay. So in this position, your knees are going to be bent, and you're actually going to let yourself kind of almost fall backward toward the wall a little bit. So you're letting your body weight back, and then you want to make a circle. So you're going to come, but it's all coming from your ankle, not from your hips. Okay, so you want to lean forward a little bit, lean backward a little bit, and then try to make a circle this direction. So you're trying to work on like body sway. There you go. So the whole idea is to get that body to make a circle. Good, now let's try going the other direction. How are we doing? Okay, there you go. So now you're going to go this direction. There you go. And turn the leg. Good, try not to hold your breath. Just let that happen. Good, okay, so now we're going to go back and let you take that walk again. Okay, the next section is going to be just strategies for stepping. So Pat's going to start in this direction. You go 5 steps this direction, and when you go, and this is perfect. So I'm going to give him a little bit of feedback right here. Is that see how his toe wants to come out, which is very typical. So Pat, as you come back toward me with this foot, I want you to see if you can lead with your heel. So make your heel come toward me instead of your. There, you got it. That's better. So you want to think about that. Good. Okay. So now you're going back toward the right. Think about lead with your heel. And then left, lead with the heel. Good. Okay, now last time, and this time I want you to really think about a little bit more bend to your knee, okay, as you're doing it. So you're almost in a little bit of a crouch position. Again, you're trying to lead with that heel, not with your toe. So you're stepping, 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 stepping. Last one, and back to the direction. Perfect, okay. Now you can come over here and take, so what you want to think about is if you were here, it's like this. Almost like you're cross-country skiing.
Okay.
You're trying to step and push. Okay. Ooh,
Done.
okay, so this is an interesting time. Okay, so what happens if we switch something up for you, Pat? I'm going to take his dorsiflexion off because we're working on something a little bit different. And instead, we're going to give him plantar flexion, so it's going to help him because he's saying, I got no push there. Let me grab yellow. Okay. Now let's see how that works. That makes it any easier. Then you push off. Push. Good. Boy, eat better.
Yeah, but it's
Still hard.
I gotta start working on that single
Yeah,
before.
go on, you can see it.
It's
hard to get that
This one.
Yeah. But that's exactly why we're having you be the person that's modeling this and not just me doing it, because I make it look easy where you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of work trying to push off of that foot. That's exactly what you want to try to do is get that push off there. Okay, so now we work the calf doing that. Now let's see what happens if you try to work the hamstring. So now in the same position, this time you're going to try just this. Get this part of the push. Don't worry so much about coming off of your toe. Okay? Straight back, there you go. Good, you're really lifting up, trying to keep that breastbone lifted and push back with that step. Good, a couple more. Perfect, okay. Now, after just working that, now that I took the dorsiflexion away, let me have you try and walk back down here. Let's see what it works like. It's going to feel different because I'm giving you a push, but I'm not giving you any dorsiflexion assist. Are you okay without the dorsiflexion?
Oh, I feel great.
Good. Do you feel how it's making you push now? You're like, oh man, it's pushing me into each step. The next series of exercises you're going to need, you still want to be close to something that you can use for upper extremity support, and then you're going to need some kind of step-up bench or just a stairwell to use that'll work as well. So first we're going to start with just some stepping up to the side. That's definitely different than going, usually when we do the stairs we go forward and back, but we're trying to train this muscle. So first we're just going to have him step up to the side. So he's going to step up and step down. Okay, and so the whole idea is with this initially, he can use that upper extremity support, but as he gets better at it, he doesn't have to use his hand. And if there's a therapist around or a family member and someone's not that comfortable doing this makes a great little gait belt just to give a little support. You can see it's a much different exercise when you're not using your hands. Perfect. Okay, now you can step back off one more time. Okay, so that's just a step on. You can also do a step over where you're stepping on, over, off. On, over, off. Making enough room for the foot. So let's try that one again. On, over, off. Good, you can stop right there. And then again, the progression of that exercise is as you can use less upper extremity support. First one, and then maybe go to just a fingertip, but you need a railing there to hang on to, and you need the step there. You can also work on what's called eccentric leg lowering, which is this pad, where your both feet are going to start on here, and then you're going to try this. You're going to try just lowering it down and bring it back up. Why don't you try that for me? Both feet on, yep. Okay, so just trying to lower it down. You're going to try to hit with your heel first, not with your toe. There you go. Now push yourself back up. That's a different exercise, isn't it? Down and up, and try to, again, hit with your, and so to work on dorsiflexion, you really have to try to hit with your heel first. Okay, good. Now let's try that on this end. Down, push up. It's a lot easier, isn't it? You have that freedom with that dorsiflexion. Perfect. And one more time. Okay, good. Now we're going to take a break from that position. And you've done this before. You're standing just on one leg. So you're here, and you're going to work on bringing this leg out in almost like a vector position. So you're going forward, middle, straight to the side, middle, back. Okay? And you, again, go to a point where you're comfortable on forward flexion. Okay, so you're here, you're going to go forward, yep. Then middle will come straight back to the center each time. Okay, so go straight forward.
Right.
And then come back to your other leg. Okay, now go to the middle, halfway through in this angle. Good, go back. Now when you lift it out to the side, it's really important that you try to lead with your heel if you can. Yeah, that's tough. And just middle up, good. Middle up, straight back, and then straight back for me. Okay. Good. One more time on that leg. There you go. All right. There you go. Perfect. Woo. Awesome. Okay. Now you go right from there to hip hiking. Do you remember hip hiking? So hip hiking is when you're standing there and you're trying to work on this motion, just trying to hike the hip. So you're not trying to actually bend, you let this like kind of hang off the edge first. Okay, and then you're just going to try to hike your hip up. That's it. Good. And hike. Oh. And hike. One more. And hike. And hike. Okay, good. Now we'll try those same two exercises on the other side. So we just turn around. Okay. And you're standing there first. Okay, and you're trying to go forward. Middle. Yeah. Straight to the side. Halfway middle and straight back. One more time to that back there. All right, now let's see, show the hip hiking yet on the side. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, hard to hit. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Whoosh. All right, take a break. That really helps with the shoulder girdle. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So these last two series of exercises we're going to do is going to work on single leg stance and scapular strength, which when you improve what's going on at the scapula, it helps what's going on at the pelvis. So you're here, okay? Is that enough? Good. Cool. So you want to blow out as you're pulling back. So he's working on an isometric with his legs, as well as engaging all these scapular muscles to help pull him into neutral. And engaging that pelvic floor as he's blowing out. And there's no magic number to any of these exercises. What you're really trying to do is engage the body in the core. You want to invite these muscles to engage throughout your days as you're doing things around the house. And so, again, 10 to 15 reps, but you're just trying to get to a point where you can fit all this in the time frame you have and engage these different groups. Now, the last one he's going to do is he's going to bend his elbows now instead of straightening them and bring his elbows back toward me. There you go. And you might have to take, your buck as you're doing it. And blow out each time. Good, and one more. Perfect, okay. So then, at home, the ways that you can make that more advanced is initially he's sitting here with a double leg stance, but you can work it as a straddle position. Let's do the same thing. Or you can work on a single leg and do the same thing. So that's kind of ways to advance that exercise from just being a scapular exercise to also be a balance exercise. Then the last thing that we're going to have him do is we're going to just unclip his bands. So he can leave the rest of the outfit on right now, but we're going to unclip his bands and we're going to have him take one more walk. So now he's kind of given input into his system for this whole half an hour, 45 minutes that he's been exercising with it on. And then he's going to go ahead and say, okay, so now what happens if I either just unhook my bands or I take out the whole device off and try one more walk. So go ahead and turn toward me. I love to see how much toe clearance you have these days.